Hey everyone, it's Matt. I thought I'd make my deck tech video for Thrust Dreadwing and talk about all the greasy shenanigans you can do with this fun little orange deck. Now, to start out this video, I want to say that this deck is not bold based. It is primarily orange. There is maybe 3 blue pips in the deck, and it is inexpensive to make. So if you want a good competitive deck to run at your local LGS and don't want to pay for a whole bunch of these new expensive cards or prior wave 1 expensive cards, you can try this deck out, but feel free to swap any cards in for your testing, as you may want to play this a little bit different and modify it yourself. Anyways, let me know what you think about it in the comments down below and what you suggest for changes, but we'll go ahead and talk about the deck tech. So, if you're not sure who Dreadwing is a Wave 2 combiner from Rise of the Combiner set, and his ability is that he starts with, or he carries over 2 weapons, 2 armor, and 2 utilities, and can be equipped with those. He's got pretty decent stats. All of our characters are ranged, it's something to note, and they all share the plane subtype. Now, Dreadwing and Blackwing have mirror abilities that are pretty much the same, except for when Dreadwind is in his plane mode, he has Pierce 2. Both these abilities read that at the end of your turn, if you have Dreadwind Air Defense or Blackwing in bot mode on the battlefield or in the KO area, you may scrap 3 cards from your hands. If you do, combine Dreadwind and Blackwing into Dreadwing Sky Destroyer. Remember that when you do combine, you get to they do begin untapped, so you want to make sure that you're swinging with your 2 little combiners first and leaving Thrust last during your first couple turns, because then you'll have 4 attackers to swing with. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the next character, which is going to be Thrust. Thrust's ability is that he's vanilla on his other side, if you want to see. Pretty vanilla. But his main ability is that when one of your other characters attacks, you may tap this. If you do, the attacker gets plus attack until in a turn equal to the character's attack total. So if you put a bonus action or an upgrade on him that increases attack, and when you tap him, it gives that to the attacking character. For example, let's say if Thrust attack was at 10, and then you tapped him, and then you would apply that to your Dreadwing or Dreadwind or Blackwing attacking. So let's get into the deck. First of all, we're going to talk about the actions, why they're in the deck, and why we're playing them. Also, I want to let everybody know, thank you so much for all the positive feedback. I received multiple messages and comments, either on Facebook or here, about the videos I was making. It really feels good to, help out new players or just people who want to, watch or check out these videos. Just making them for fun, So, anyways, let's continue on as I gushed a bit. So, actions. Let's not get into spoilers. So. First of all, we're playing 3 copies of Backup Plan. The reason this card is in the deck is because it lets you scrap your hand and draw 3 brand new cards. At times, you're going to have, when you are going to be discarding your cards to combine Dreadwing into the combiner mode, and you're going to be having empty-handed cards if you only have 3. This will let you go ahead and pick up 3 brand new cards, and also just if you have a dead hand, you can toss them and draw new ones. Also, white pips are great. Now, this card right here, I've been testing and it's been doing well, but it has been a dead draw sometimes, meaning that it's been useless in my hand sometimes. But when it is in my hand and I do have the necessary requirements out, it is beautiful. So Battle Ready gives each of your characters +1 until end of turn for each upgrade on it. Now, if you have no upgrades, this does nothing. But, I mean, you could probably swap this out for a Peace through Tyranny if you wanted to, or an incoming transmission, but I found that Battle Ready was getting me what I needed, and we're not playing bold in this deck, so it gives you what you need. Next is going to be Bombing Run. We play 3 copies of Bombing Run. It is the only blue pip, I believe, that is in the deck, and what it does is it lets you transfer 1 damage from each of your planes to an enemy of your choice. So if you've been taking quite a bit of damage, you can go ahead and spread that out and do a little bit of direct damage to get those characters that are hiding in the corner, or if you're trying to finish off someone quickly. Next is 2 copies of Ramming Speed. Feel free to run more if you wish to, but I run 2 because there is also some other removal in this deck that can take care of pesky upgrades. A lot of people have mostly been focusing on bashing shield with removing armor, but some utilities and weapons can be a bit problematic for the new Wave 2 decks, and getting those off the battlefield is really good. Next is 3 copies of Reckless Charge. Reckless Charge gives one of your characters +4 attack until end of turn, but at the end of your turn, you do 3 damage to that character. So that can be used in response with Thrust to increase his attack, or you can do it to Dreadwing to give him a big bonus to attack. Remember, if you kill them before the end of your turn, you'll still win, because You don't take the damage until the end of your turn, which is great. Next is a one-off. I was planning on running a different card called Ready for Action in this deck, but I found that, I mean, I could untap my little guys and thrust, but once Dreadwing combines, it's kind of useless. I mean, you could untap, tap thrust to get the bonus attack, but it didn't really come up that often. And this was my only one spot left that I had, so I decided to go ahead and put Steamroll in here because it gives you the Grimlock ability from Wave 1 that lets you carry over damage. So if you would do more damage in their health, that you can, an enemy chooses, or an opponent chooses one of their characters and places the rest of the damage on them. Good card. Also, if you're feeling the Steamroll's not working, you can go ahead and put that ramming speed in, as I mentioned. Next is Swindled. It lets you draw 2 cards, then scrap 2 cards from your hand. If you begin the game with only Decepticons, which we are doing, you can play an upgrade. So this will let you get the multiple upgrades down on Dreadwing because he can hold 2 weapons, 2 utilities, and 2 armor. And last but not least for actions is our Treasure Hunt, which lets you dig for upgrades so you can place them on your character. It's very straightforward. It's been around since Wave 1. Scrap the top 4 cards of your deck, and then put all upgrades, scrap this way into your hand. Now, if you're getting a low hand and you're trying to actually combine Dreadwing, and you're not able to actually go ahead and do that, Treasure Hunt may help you out by drawing the necessary upgrades you can that you need to discard those cards and also combine your big boy. Let's take a look at our upgrades. First of all, our upgrades can be changed around if you wish to your liking, but I'm playing 2 copies of Bashing Shield. I was originally playing 3 and 1 ramming speed, but I decided to cut down to 2 because I find I didn't really need them that often, and when I did, I was able to knock off the armor just in time because you can pull this back. If you've not played Wave 2 or seen what the green pip does, the green pip does, once you've finished battling, that means I've revealed my attack cards, you revealed your defense cards, and then once we go to scrap them at the end of our turn, we can choose to swap a card and then scrap the card after that. So let's say if I have an Improvised Shield in my hand or another card like that, I can choose to switch those. Now, talking about Improvised Shield, you're going to notice that there aren't any in this deck. But we'll get to that here in a moment. So next is going to be Cooling Vents. All of our characters are ranged, so this is great. This gives it your Dreadwing an additional armor. It's an orange pip. When you place this on a ranged character, repair 1 damage from it. Playing 3 in the deck. Love this card. Next is going to be 3 copies of Erratic Lightning. This will knock down Dreadwing's defense or Thrust defense, but Thrust has a 3 defense modifier, so you can go ahead and slap this on Thrust, and when you tap him, that'll give Dreadwing +6 to attack, which is pretty big. Next is 3 copies of Force Field. Force Field is an armor. It's one of the only other armors in the deck, aside from the Cooling Vents. It protects you when you're going to take a big smash. So if someone would hit you for 5 or more damage, instead you scrap your Force Field and then you go ahead and take 4. This can be vital in keeping your characters alive, so when you do pull it, make sure you keep it. Next is 3 of everyone's favorite card, Grenade Launcher. Grenade Launcher gives your character +4 attack for 1 attack, and then it falls off at the end of the attack. You can actually put this on Thrust and not attack with him to continually give your character +7 attack, which is pretty bonkers, and I love this card. Next is something I've been testing. I'm not sure if it's working as I want, but Spare Parts, and if opponent's card would cause a weapon or an armor to be scrapped from the upgraded character, you could scrap this instead. So that'll protect your Thrust or your Dreadwing from losing the weapon that they want or the armor that they want. It can really help out. I'm playing 2 right now. I may change it, but so far 2 have been working very well because I can fetch them with a card I don't need, and also just protects them from losing things. And last of our upgrades is Static Laser of Ironhide. Static Laser of Ironhide is an upgrade that gives your character +3 per attack, but when they attack and the character is not Ironhide, they take 2 damage. So you're going to want to throw this on Thrust and let him accumulate that damage if he needs to attack, but he'll mostly be there just to tap and give a bonus to your friends, whoever's attacking. So that's if it's Dreadwing going in his combiner mode, or if you're going attacking with one of the little guys, such as Dreadwind or Blackwing, that'll help them out quite a bit. Yeah, so that is the upgrades. That is the actions in the deck. Overall, you're going to want to be playing this deck and trying to, hit your opponent as fast as they can, and also trying to outmaneuver them. You're going to find that playing against cars and a heavy blue deck may give you some problems, but make sure that as long as you're having fun, that's all that matters, right? So anyways, that is my deck profile for Thrust and Dreadwing. And yeah, I hope you have a great day, that you pull awesome stuff from your boxes. Sorry for the shaky cam. You know me, I'm kind of sporadic when I do this. And I hope you enjoy this deck, and let me know what you think down in the comments below. Have a great day, and peace.